Hello, we're actually here to talk about many of our Shannon injury prevention programs. I'm actually here with Amy. Amy's head of our trauma program. So when you think about a trauma program, what does it actually do for a hospital?
So a trauma program gives a structure for a healthcare facility to provide the best care for our patients, and not only just treat our patients, but also look for ways of improving the care for those victims. We also like to do a lot of education with the community and surrounding areas, along with injury prevention, like we're talking about today.
When you talk about education with the communities in the surrounding areas, are you talking about hospitals, clinics, or just community members?
Kind of a combination. So we do hospital entities within our region. We do EMS agencies within our region. We'll tie in just community education and how they can be prepared and prevent trauma.
When you look at trauma programs, there's designations. So our program's got a certain designation compared to other areas of the state and the country. So talk a little bit about why the designations are so important.
So designation is essentially a term that describes what capabilities and what status you have for caring for trauma patients. So Shannon is part of a much larger system across the state of Texas, and with our designations of being a level 3 and a level 4 facility, it helps share what our capabilities are, along with any limitations such as, for example, a burn patient. So a burn patient, that category of patients will be transferred to an actual burn designation facility to provide the higher level of care that they need.
When you kind of already talked a little bit about it, but when you talked about training and education, kind of talk a little bit more specifically about what y'all do throughout the year to help everybody with their training and education.
So we do things like a summer safety event, an annual event where we look at boating safety, water safety, Stop the Bleed training. And then a lot of agencies have funding or grants that allow us, if we want to do a Stop the Bleed training, for example, we can do where we actually distribute tourniquets and give the education, or Safe Kids, we can distribute car seats and give that education. And so there are a lot of organizations that are very vested in our community that help with those injury prevention and education topics.
Well, hello, I'm actually here with Oscar. He's our director of AirMed 1 and 2. So tell us a little bit about AirMed 1, kind of give an overview.
AirMed 1 is, our idea is to go out to the region and provide quick transport, not only for trauma patients, but anybody that might just need to get quickly to Shannon for definitive care.
What do y'all do to train for dealing with these critical patients? Because you're going out to sites that, in some cases, the patients really needs a lot of services and to stabilize them before we can get them back to the hospital.
We put our crew through scenarios, and so that we make them critical think, so that when the true scenario comes along, they're able to react quickly and accurately.
And so you kind of allude to it, but y'all do a lot of community outreach with other EMS services. Talk a little bit about that in a little bit more detail. How y'all work with them and train them and help them know a little bit more about AirMed 1 and 2.
Yes, sir. We actually provide several LZ classes throughout the year to our local RAC. We went out a couple times last month providing airway classes to the region, and also Stop the Bleed classes. We did several of those in the past several years. We have an officer down class that we're also providing CEs.
And though we live in a town of 110,000, we're pretty remote, and especially when you look at all the families and people that live outside of Tom Green County. We have all these small communities and people driving on these roads, so it's so important to have this flight service. You guys, it's a busy flight service, right? I mean, it's one of the busiest in the state of Texas.
We are one of the busiest in the state, and I think that, again, says a lot about Shannon Medical Center, and just honored to be a part of this Shannon team and the AirMed team.
You know, it's interesting. I had an administrator from a hospital that's about an hour away. He sent me this picture, and it was a picture of AirMed 1. And he just said, hey, I want you to know that AirMed 1 saved this person's life today. And it showed the AirMed 1 actually landing at that hospital and picking up that patient. And I was just extremely proud about it. But thank you for all you do, as well as the AirMed 1 and 2 teams. And I'm actually here with Jamie, and Jamie's head of our Safe Kids Coalition. So tell us a little bit about this program.
So Safe Kids is actually a worldwide organization, and it is an organization that solely focuses on childhood injury prevention. So Shannon has integrated the Safe Kids program into your organization. We have been a Safe Kids Coalition for over 30 years here almost 30 years here in San Angelo. So it's a very successful program and one that is extremely needed.
What type of resources do you guys have?
So we are huge on education, on providing resources if necessary to the community, to the parents and caregivers and children. So our big focus is on child passenger safety. Is your child in the correct car seat? Is it facing the correct position? Our other big pushes are bicycle safety, teaching kids proper hand signals, the laws of the road if they're riding on the road or even walking on the road. So another big focus for Safe Kids is water safety. We live in a community where we are surrounded by a lot of water, so we want to educate people on drowning prevention tips, but also be making sure that kiddos are wearing those life jackets, that they fit them properly, and that they are Coast Guard approved.
And you guys have a lot of activities throughout the year. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I am constantly doing car seat checks and car seat installations at my office or wherever I need to go, but we also have 2 or 3 large car seat checkup events throughout the year where we partner with lots of different organizations, and we'll see hundreds of families pull up and have us check their seats. So that's a big thing that we do. We also now do bike rodeos where we will go to elementary schools. We will create an obstacle course, so that's a lot of fun. And then again, with the water safety, we do a lot of life jacket giveaways. But really, anyone who contacts Safe Kids and has a specific request for anything childhood safety related, I can cater what they're wanting, and Safe Kids can come in and talk about it.
What's the best way that when a parent or a resident or a community member wants to contact the Safe Kids Coalition, what's the best way to do that?
So they can reach out to me on Facebook just by searching Safe Kids San Angelo, or they can call me at the office. Our number is 747-2596.